Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. Mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. It's Tuesday, so it's a short song day. Long Black Veil, Lefty Frizzell, made popular by the band, and then Van Morrison. 10 years ago, on a cold, dark night, there was someone killed neath the town hall light. Few were at the scene, but they all did agree that the man who ran looked a lot like me. She walks these hills in a long black veil. She'll visit my grave when the night winds wail. Nobody knows, no, nobody sees, nobody knows but me. Yeah. Oh, they got the local dogs barking on that one. All right. Dedicate that one to my wife. She loves Long Black Veil. And we have history doing that in the pubs in Ireland with the Chieftain Band backing us up. Pretty cool. All right. The word for the day is music. What is the benefit of sound and silence? You know, the space between the notes is what makes the melody and the rhythm. So the music of the spheres is where you feel that you're called to that beckoning from beyond, the transcendent. The rhythm is so important. On again, off again, contraction, expansion. It's amazing. So how does music play its role in your life? Do you sing? Do you dance? Do you play an instrument? Do you all three? Are you involved in a band or a choir? Or which artists and the way that they've used sound has affected you? All right, think about it. Elevate the conversation with your friends, or let me know, and I'll be glad to share what's going on in my life as well. All right, always start off with something from my teacher, B.K.S. Iyengar, who reminds us that technical and material comfort may have reached a zenith in our century, but it's not brought mental peace or freedom. But yoga as a self-culture has no denomination. You don't have to buy into any belief system. It's a practice. You can find out for yourself just how true it is. And it's not a religion, even though it seems to be connected to Hinduism, but it's not really. It involves you in a virtuous life, and that appears religious. But it's a reminder to take yourself within. Yoga is not about exhibitionism, although you can do an unbelievable demonstration like a dancer or ice skater or something like that. But the idea is to develop the light of consciousness and keep on progressing without arrogance, but always have some humility about whatever it is you think you've gained. Now, I keep coming back to the idea that sitting in silence is important. Meditation is an opportunity for you to free yourself from being distracted by moving, doing. Just sit. If you move too fast, you don't see the distractions that pull you away from your inner calm, your inner tranquility. You have to sit for a period of time long enough so you can see what is your mind doing, which a lot of people don't want to see what's doing, because then they would think that I have to either be accountable for that, responsible for that. But the key to remember is you can't attempt the impossible by trying to limit conditions around you to secure yourself. There's a limit to what you can do. Rather than you can change your vibration, that's available to you anytime. You create your own attitude. And in order to see this, you have to go into what I call Jnana Yoga, would be the yogic phrase, but I call it the magician, the magus, the medial woman. It's the same idea. It's the part of your psyche that discriminates, that sees directly, therefore it knows. And it shows you that certain things go with other things, which they call it constellated. It organizes things in such a manner that it draws together like a magnet to iron filings to a magnet, in such a way that this becomes a felt reality. Then you know you're really looking for the truth. You're on your own personal quest. And that's why the magician energy is the archetype of initiation, of the initiate. And once you begin this, there's no turning back. Your life will never be the same again. And the only way you learn this is through action. And the major action is listening to your heart. No teacher can take you deeper than your heart. And your heart is alive, so alive. So keep listening to it. Listening to what it has to say. And then you start to shift your life away from me and my body are just filled with suffering to me and my body are filled with potential. And then you notice that the prime yogis treat each other so good, so well, with such love. Now, I can't make you do anything. And in fact, most teachers are unscrupulous in the sense of the Zen teaching where they say, here I am selling water by the river. I have my stand, you can see the river right behind me, and I'm selling you, an empty pot or vessel for you to go and fill up at the river. In fact, I'll even have the water here. You can buy it from me. But nothing is stopping you from going to the river and scooping it out yourself. If you want more, bring a bigger vessel the next time. And then in your meditation, to de-emphasize the personal, just notice the elements of matter. Anything that's moving or anything that's still, that's the air element or the lack of air element. Anything that feels wet or anything that's dry, that's the water element. Anything that shows heat or cold is the fire element. Anything that shows hardness or softness is the earth element. Anything that makes you feel open or closed, that's the etheric or spacious element. And then notice the other way that the senses communicate to you. Any color you see is vision. Any sound you hear is auditory. Any smell you take is olfactory. Any food you eat is gustatory. Any sensation you feel on the skin or within is the touch sensation. And that way, like a roll-top desk, you see what's going on, and none of that is something that you can say, it's me. It's just a momentary awareness of how consciousness arises and passes away moment to moment, leaving you in what I would call the stream consciousness, which means everything is in flowing change, and you flow with it rather than trying to resist it. Hope that helps. Have a great day.